All right, let's go. Day number 21. 3 days until Christmas. Basically, probably almost everyone is taking a break, reflecting on 2024, and making plans for 2025. But some of us still do business, and that's why I wanted today to talk about an important topic, which is why most marketing agencies out there suck. And it's for just one simple reason. And I'll give you the reason right now, although I suggest staying until the end because I will give examples as to why that happens. But in most cases, it's the fact that they don't care. So, that sounds very broad, right? But let me explain, because you don't really have to care like everything is your baby, right? Like not every client, not every work, not every task that you do is like the most important or the most enjoyable, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't do it, because it's just like with eating healthy. It's just like with working out. Do you enjoy every little moment? No, but you still do it because you know that's the right thing to do for yourself, for your future, for your family, for whoever is around you, right? And I'm talking strictly about marketing agencies just because that's where I operate. I'm more so in the B2B world, so I have the most experience there. I can talk about what I'm seeing, about what I'm doing, and just how to stay at the top, like if that's what you want. Because in most cases, you can grow a marketing agency very fast, like you just use paid ads, you use outreach, you just pay VAs and so on, right? So there are ways to get clients. And actually, I have to say that, for example, myself, I don't really use too much client acquisition, and mainly because I know that if I acquire a client for Facebook ads, for Google ads, for growing their ecom business, I also need to fulfill on that offer, because nowadays there are so many 19-year-olds, 22-year-olds that are super young, slightly inexperienced, but for example, they've read Alex Hormozzi's book, the $100 million offers. But the problem is that you start with an offer, right? But do you actually, or are you able to fulfill that offer? Because if you create an offer, it's basically just the cover. So you're offering something just like for a woman or a man, right? Like you sell the beauty or you sell the status or the car that you show, but that's not the whole picture. So it's misleading, and it's the same in business. There are so many marketing agencies out there that have great offers, like we'll give you 10x ROAS, or you don't pay. We give you this, or you don't pay. We give you this, or you get your money back, and so on, right? So personally, I don't even make such kind of claims typically, because you don't control the economy. You don't control Meta's algorithm. You don't control the Google ads, right? So there are so many things that you don't control, but people out there are just offering guarantees for things that they aren't even sure about, right? So, for example, if you go to a surgeon, right? Like, will he tell you that there's a 100% guarantee that you'll survive for anything? Like, there's always a case where something happened, right? And the surgery didn't went well, right? So you always need to think of risk reward, but I'm actually coming from the other viewpoint here, mostly as someone who sells. So if you are selling something, ideally you do try to make it genuine. So you offer something that you know you can actually fulfill, because even Alex Hormozzi right now basically has two books out, and one of them is about the offer and the other about the leads. So basically offering something, finding the leads, but there's the third aspect, which is actually the most important, and it's actually doing the thing, right? And that's slightly problematic, That's why it's actually the most I would say, under communicated subject, the one about client delivery, because there are so many components. It's something like how to keep your partner happy, right? Like there are a million things that you need to do. So it's the same here. Like, yeah, there are some systems that you can implement, but in most cases, for many businesses, like you do have to also personalize. Because, for example, if you're a content agency, right, and you work with a content creator, like, yeah, you can have the best things in place, but if that content creator doesn't have some specific attributes or skills that are developed, then of course you won't really grow, you know? So that's where you actually need to make sure that you can also help with those things. For example, if someone doesn't have charisma, if someone doesn't have the tonality, if someone doesn't have the pace, although there's no one way to do anything. For example, you can see in my videos that sometimes I just have more energy, I use my hands and so on, but at the same time I can also slow down my speech. I can also take pauses, and that's just because I've done it multiple ways. So I've talked in front of the camera in multiple ways. I can talk calmly, I can talk with more energy, I can change between states very easily, right? And I'm also aware of that. And that's where you actually need to do quite a few things with almost anything. There's no just one or two components. In most cases, you have to look at everything holistically. And it's the same when you offer a service. Like, things take time. That's why it takes time to get better. It takes time to be experienced, right? There's a reason why the people who invested the most time in something are at the top, right? Like, you can't really cheat the system when it comes to being one of the best. Athletes have to work almost their entire life for those key moments when you actually see them win. Business owners, the same. And you actually see less of them because they aren't on TV, there aren't millions of people watching them. So their moments when they shine is actually on a sales call, you know, which it's just them that they are on and the client. So it's like you don't even get cheered on as much. So coming back to why basically most marketing agencies out there suck is because it takes time to actually get good at something. And in most cases, and this even happened with myself, if you don't win right away, sometimes you are going to switch the game, right? Like, you're doing email marketing, you see that it's not really working in the beginning, so you're switching to paid ads. Or if you're doing paid ads, you're switching to email marketing. And honestly, that's not the best approach, because you're just starting again and again from a lower level. So you go from level 10 on email marketing to a level 2 on paid ads. And it's true that it does matter what you do and for who you do it. So there's always some kind of saturation in every market. But at the same time, everyone to some extent sucks so much that there's always an opportunity, you know? Like, even myself, I don't consider myself the best at paid ads. And that's also because I can't dedicate 25 hours a day to paid media. And there's probably one, two, or more people out there actually who can do the job better than me. For example, I think there are probably right now in India, let's say, because India has a very high population, there are probably 100K people that could do a better job than me. But at the same time, maybe 1,000 earn more than me, right? So why is that the case? Well, basically because it's not just about that one skill. It's about multiple skills. So that's why it's going to take time to learn almost anything. And there will always be some competition out there. But at the same time, if you always grow, most of that competition will actually fade. So that's why you can look at competition as being very healthy, because that's what motivates you to keep growing. And if you're always growing, I mean, at one point, you should have a very, let's say, easy and enjoyable life, because there are not so many people who are willing to, let's say, work hard and do it consistently, right? So in most cases, there's always an opportunity to shine. So I would say that's pretty much it for today, because I just wanted to touch on the fact that, yeah, there's always competition, but at the same time, not all competition is real competition. It's just other people who are trying to do the same thing as you, but they're probably not doing it as good as you, or even as good as you can do it if you continue doing it. So basically, just play the game and you'll always get better. So with that, we'll end for today, and I'll continue this series till the end of the month, and probably next month I'll make a new series, but more on that in the other video. So that's about it, and see you tomorrow.